Every Bitcoin cycle, the same headlines start to pop up when the price goes down, and you hear it all over the place. Bitcoin is going to zero, Bitcoin is done, even crypto as a whole is a scam. You start hearing all that stuff. In this cycle, it's the same thing. However, there's something very different about this cycle that I think if you don't see it, you're not paying attention, and that's that big institutions are now very, very involved, and the big institutions are going to change Bitcoin. They're going to change the cycle, and let me tell you why. Every time that we go through the cycle, we go through the same things, right? We go through the hype. If you remember last year in 2025, we had all the big influencers, all the Bitcoin maxis talking about Bitcoin and how it was going to go to 200,000, 300,000, a million, some people. A lot of people were just talking about Bitcoin going to crazy numbers, and that's something that I think that a lot of people believed, and it was, warranted, because a lot of the things that were going on in terms of the market, in terms of the new administration that quote unquote was pro-crypto, at least up to this point, all the other countries as well that were adopting Bitcoin, and just major adoption, major shifts in terms of crypto, major things that were going on in terms of the whole crypto space. If you believed all that hype, if you believed all those things that were being said, why would you believe the FUD that's going on right now, right? You have to believe either one or the other. That's my opinion. And if you're believing right now all the FUD about Bitcoin, that it's going to zero, that it's just not going to work, the whole Epstein connection, there's so many negative things about Bitcoin, and I'm not a Bitcoin maxi, but I can see it from all over the place, what's going on. Bitcoin is going to do its thing. Bitcoin might go down to 40K, Bitcoin might go down maybe to 50K more likely. It doesn't really matter how low it goes. It's usually going to rebound, and all that matters for Bitcoin is that people like you, people like me believe in it, at least to some point. And as long as there's people that are going to, willing to speculate and willing to invest in something like Bitcoin and something like crypto, I think Bitcoin is not going to die. Bitcoin's not going to go to zero. A lot of people still believe in it. A lot of people are going to be holding until they see the numbers that they want to see. I think that's something that's a misconception by people that are, FUDding Bitcoin. And, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, right? Everybody's entitled to either holding or selling. But I think from what I see, I think Bitcoin is just doing its thing. It's just going through its cycle. Now, let me tell you why this cycle is different and how I see things playing out. And obviously, I don't have a crystal ball. I don't know exactly what's going to happen to Bitcoin in the long run, but I do expect it to continue to do its thing. I think that we're still going to see the 4-year cycle, even though this past cycle was different. But it was different because of the institutions that are now big players in terms of crypto. We have all these derivatives now that are popping up because of the ETFs. So I think Bitcoin is going to continue to do its thing. A lot of people still believe in crypto. A lot of people still believe in Bitcoin specifically. There's still a lot of maxis holding, a lot of people holding, and institutions are still buying right now. During this dip in the market, this huge sell-off that we've had recently, people are still buying, and specifically institutions are still accumulating. And if you were to ask me, what do I see with Bitcoin happening in the next 2-3 years in terms of the cycle, I think that we're just not going to see the big, huge swings in price that we used to see. Fortunately or unfortunately, that's something to be discussed. Institutions are now part of the whole Bitcoin ecosystem and crypto, and whether that's good or bad, we're going to wait to see what happens. But one thing that I know for certain is that the price is going to be a lot more controlled. So you might not see Bitcoin now go down all the way to 30K or 20K. I think the dips for Bitcoin are going to be less shallow or less drastic. but also the highs are going to be less drastic. So just like we saw the $126,000 top last year in Q4 before the huge dip, that's something that I think we're going to see in crypto. That's something that we're going to see in Bitcoin, where the price is just not going to swing as wide as it used to do. And it's all because of the institutions that are in there, right? There's more control. There's more paper trading. There's more hands and more people, right, moving it. Crypto or Bitcoin at this point in its history, it's not being controlled now by retail. Sure, retail is going to have something to say about it, but I think the institutions are now controlling the price swings and controlling when it's sold, when to buy, and all that. So in the end, I think we can all rest assured that Bitcoin is going to continue to do its thing. It's going to continue to move forward. And remember, we're here for the long run, right? We're not here for a quick buck. We're here for, a long journey where we see our profits, compound in the long run. If you enjoyed this conversation, guys, hope you share this video, like it, leave me your comments below. I'll see you in the next one.